Imagine London, 1666. A sprawling city of timber and thatch, crammed with over 500,000 souls. The air is thick with the smells of industry life, and the ever-present threat of fire. For months, a severe drought has turned the city into a tinderbox, just waiting for a spark. Little did anyone know, that spark was about to ignite a catastrophe that would change London forever. Our story begins in the dead of night, on Sunday, September 2nd, in a small bakery on Pudding Lane. The baker, a man named Thomas Farriner, had gone to bed, believing the fires in his oven were out. But they weren't. An ember, still glowing, leaped from the hearth and found a pile of dry firewood. In minutes, a small flame grew into a hungry blaze, and the Farriner family barely escaped from an upstairs window. The Great Fire of London had begun. At first, no one seemed overly concerned. Fires were a common occurrence in 17th-century London. The Lord Mayor, Sir Thomas Bloodworth, was woken and famously dismissed the incident, saying, "Pish, a woman might piss it out." He then went back to bed. This single, dismissive comment would prove to be a colossal error in judgment. The fire was not a typical blaze. A strong easterly wind began to fan the flames, pushing the inferno westward. The fire quickly became unstoppable. It leaped from house to house, devouring the tightly packed wooden structures. The narrow streets acted like funnels, intensifying the wind and creating a firestorm. The heat was so intense it melted the lead on the roof of Old St. Paul's Cathedral, which flowed in fiery rivers down the streets. People watched in horror as their homes, their businesses, and their entire world turned to ash. Panic gripped the city. The streets were choked with a terrified exodus. People fled with whatever they could carry: children, possessions, pets. The River Thames became a chaotic scene of overloaded boats and barges as citizens tried to escape by water. Samuel Pepys, a naval administrator whose diary provides one of the most vivid accounts of the disaster, described the dismal, malicious, bloody flame. He wrote of seeing pigeons, reluctant to leave their nests, falling from the sky. Their wings burned, for long days and nights, the fire raged. It consumed everything in its path. The air was thick with smoke, turning day into an apocalyptic twilight. The roar of the flames was deafening, punctuated by the crash of collapsing buildings. The medieval heart of London, a city that had stood for centuries, was being systematically erased. More than 13,000 houses, 87 parish churches, and countless public buildings were destroyed. So, how did it finally stop? On Tuesday, the wind mercifully began to die down, but the real turning point came from a decisive, if destructive, action. The king's brother, James, Duke of York, took command of the firefighting efforts. He ordered entire rows of houses to be demolished using gunpowder to create fire breaks, wide gaps in the city that the flames could not cross. It was a desperate measure, destroying healthy homes to save what was left of the city. By Wednesday, September 5th, these fire breaks, combined with the weakening wind, finally halted the fire's advance. When the smoke cleared, the scale of the devastation was unimaginable. 4/5 of the city within the old Roman walls was gone, a vast, smoldering wasteland stretched for over 400 acres. Miraculously, the official death toll was remarkably low, in the single digits, though modern historians believe the true number was likely much higher, with many victims being cremated by the intense heat, leaving no trace. The economic and social cost, however, was catastrophic. Tens of thousands were left homeless, their livelihoods destroyed. But London is a city of resilience. From the ashes of this great tragedy, a new city was born. The fire, in a strange way, was a purifier. It had wiped out the squalid, plague-ridden slums of the medieval era. The Great Plague, which had devastated the city just a year before, never returned with the same force, as the fire destroyed the rat-infested areas that had harbored the disease. The rebuilding of London was a monumental task. King Charles II, along with brilliant architects like Sir Christopher Wren, saw an opportunity not just to rebuild, but to reimagine. Wren's master plan for a city of wide boulevards and grand plazas was ultimately deemed too ambitious and expensive. Instead, the city was largely rebuilt on its old street plan, but with a crucial difference. New building regulations were enforced, mandating the use of brick and stone instead of wood. Streets were widened. This was the birth of the modern, fire-resistant London. Sir Christopher Wren's genius shone through in the 51 new churches he designed to replace those lost, each a masterpiece of English Baroque architecture. His crowning achievement, of course, was the new St. Paul's Cathedral. Its magnificent dome, rising from the ashes, became a powerful symbol of London's rebirth and enduring spirit. It stood as a testament to the city's ability to overcome disaster and build something even grander in its place. To commemorate the fire, a towering column known as the Monument was erected near Pudding Lane, where the blaze began. If you climb its 311 steps today, you can look out over a city that was forged in fire. The Great Fire of 1666 was a devastating chapter in London's history, a story of destruction and despair. But it is also a story of incredible human resilience, of opportunity seized from crisis, and of a city that rose, quite literally, from its own ashes, stronger and more magnificent than ever before. Thank you so much for watching. The story of the Great Fire of London is a powerful reminder of how even the greatest disasters can pave the way for renewal. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more stories from history. We'll see you in the next one.